movies that he's seen and the life choices that he has made. That is all roads have led me to be very exasperated about the movie Napoleon. Coming in hot with the intro here. Welcome to One Take Podcast. Whatever.
This movie sucks.
There are so many good movies out, actually. I mean, ones have kind of come and gone from Middle America theaters, but like y'all can still see like The Holdovers and like some other things like that. Thanksgiving, which Teej still needs to see and report back to us because I will not be seeing.
I'm definitely going to go see that. I'm definitely going to see that.
A few other films, you know. I mean, Wish is in theaters, which some people are shitting on. A lot of people are shitting on.
Oh, you're not shitting on it, Dex? I've heard nothing but people shitting on it.
I had a pleasant time.
Like literally everyone, including Mattis Bear, who we're gonna try to have on this podcast about it. DM'd us.
Yeah, it is corny, but that's what I go to this movie for.
Matt was so mad at the movie Wish, he DM'd us to be like, "Let me come on and spit my bars about Wish." Something every grown man needs to do. Anyway, Napoleon. Okay, do we need to read the synopsis of Napoleon? Like, I think we all know who Napoleon is.
Whatever, man.
Dynamite?
Yeah, Dynamite. Napoleon Dynamite, actually. A better movie. Napoleon, 6.7 on IMDb, rated R, 2 hours, 38 minutes. Ridley Scott has already said, like he does, there's a 4 hour cut of this movie, which is better.
I will not be watching that. No, thank you.
Dude. What is
No, okay. I will not. Y'all know I love me a long film. I will keep the long cut of this film the fuck away from me. No, thank you. No thanks.
An epic that details the checkered rise and fall of French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte.
Does it?
Relentless journey.
Does it do that?
It's power.
It literally doesn't do that, though.
Of his addictive, volatile relationship with his wife, Josephine. Directed by Ridley Scott, 85-year-old. How old is he? 82?
Too old to be making movies, man. Wrap it up. Go
on. Somebody said, just quick tweet of the week. Somebody said Spielberg and Scorsese are reflecting back on their lives and their mortality and the work that they have made and what it all means before they try to hang it up. And somebody said, Ridley Scott, God can have me when he kills me, when he earns me. And he just keeps making them, man. He made like 7 films during the pandemic and nobody's really talked about it.
Him and Clint Eastwood both need to just go home, man. Wrap it up. It's over. Will I watch Gladiator 2? Yes, I will. But yeah. Come on, dog.
I will be there. I will be seated for Gladiator 2. However, I'm with Dex on this.
The theater for Gladiator 2 is going to be like an all-time experience. So many people will be going to see that movie.
We'll see.
Even though Russell Crowe is in it, it has Denzel Washington in it, man.
So?
What do you mean, so?
He made a movie with Matt Damon and Adam Driver in it that 7 people saw.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, we did see it, and it
that
wasn't
movie was
bad.
About rape,
but there was a lot of rape. I mean, a lot
Gladiator
of
2 will
that.
not have rape in it.
Oh,
yes,
that's a good point.
Is that your prediction right now?
Actually, I think so.
Gladiator 2.
There's no rape in Napoleon. There could have definitely been some rape in Napoleon. So I think that there's a good chance that he's done putting rapes on screen, because there were times in Napoleon where it was quite literally like they were cutting away from impending rape, and I was like, thank God, thank you that we're doing that.
I am willing to bet $10 right now there will be an on-screen rape in Gladiator 2.
I'm not taking these bets. This seems kind of bad to be taking that bet. But keep your money. Written by David Scarpa, stars Joaquin Phoenix, back working with Ridley Scott for the first time since Gladiator, I believe. Vanessa Kirby looking, thank you,
like, Oscar nominated Vanessa Kirby with nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
Well, she could cash the check. That's what she had to do.
But also, thank you, filmmakers, for putting her in movies.
True. Yeah.
I like Vanessa Kirby. I do.
And then a host of character actors. Those are the two really big names in this. I kind of really don't know anyone else. Rupert Everett is the Duke of Wellington, but other than that, I don't know a lot of the other guys that are in this. You've seen them in British TV, basically.
Is Duke of Wellington British food?
No, that's beef Wellington.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Incredible. Yeah, the Duke of Beef Wellington. This did okay business, I guess. But I think
how much did this movie cost to make? It doesn't look cheap.
It doesn't say. I'm not seeing. Hold on.
Those battle scenes were not cheap. I can promise you that right now. That was not a cheap thing to pull off. And there are a lot of battle scenes in this film.
I'm gonna imagine it's gonna be like $150 million.
Yeah,
130 to $200 million. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It cost some money.
It's done okay. It made $86 million worldwide, which
maybe it'll make its money.
Maybe it'll make its money back. But he has had Ridley Scott. I mean, he doesn't need us. He'd probably tell us to go fuck ourselves. But like,
I'm sure that's what he'd say.
He hasn't had a huge like House of Gucci wasn't a huge box office success either. And as we know, kind of concern trolled on this podcast, the rape movie, but that movie,
The Last Duel,
was one of the biggest flops of all time. So
House of Gucci should have been the biggest movie in the world. It just didn't, but it wasn't his fault. That's real cinema, and we stand by that film. We stand by it.
We do. As a podcast.
Facts. As a podcast, 2 or 3 votes. We stand next to that film, and we
2 out of 3 votes is fine.
We hold it up as an example of real cinema. It is real cinema.
2 out of 3 is in fact a majority, but let it be known for the courts that I kind of fucking hate that movie. House of Gucci made $153 million worldwide on a $75 million budget. So okay, like maybe I'm not giving him his props, but Napoleon, it didn't get good reviews either.
Because it stinks.
Gee, I wonder what.
Let's see, what did it have on here? I think it had my computer's being weird, but I believe it had like a 56 on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. I want to know what the audience thought. Yeah, 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, this is the first time I've seen it kind of in lockstep. People really didn't fuck with this movie.
No.
Like, even really a little bit. So yeah, I think some critics or like big time movie boys are trying to reclaim it as actually this will go down as like one of his better works already, but
You're just not smart enough to understand why he was making fun of biopics and
those people have never seen Gladiator. Because what do you mean going down as one of his better? Have they not? Have this is their first Ridley Scott movie? This guy fucking made Gladiator. What are we talking about?
He made Alien. Yeah, like
this guy fucking made Alien. What are we talking about? What do you mean one of his better movies? What does that even mean?
Thelma and Louise. Like I don't. Blade Runner. Anyway, yeah, I don't like. We're being real, like, kind of low on this podcast, and I think it's because it took us so long to like review it. But also, it's hard when it's just like I was re-listening a few weeks ago to our Fast X podcast just to kind of like go back and think, well, like, what did I think about that movie and sort of the year in movies.
Why did you do that? That seems like a horrible idea. That film stinks.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to our review. I didn't watch the movie again. I don't care about that. I'll listen to our content. But I just wanted to think like the year. I was thinking back on the year in movies, and I was kind of looking back on like, well, is our content better if we like kind of hate the movie? And the vitriol we had for Fast X which is an objectively horrible movie. Made for some pretty good podcasting, if I will say so myself.
This movie isn't bad enough to give Vinci. I don't think it's bad enough.
Fart.
Yeah.
Just a wet fart. And so
we
now
can't really turn up on this film. It's not that bad.
Like, we're just kind of like, But, I mean, Dex, you have had sort of the most in-public denouncement of this movie. I know Tej went on a Twitter rampage last night or 2 nights ago. But give your spiel.
You watch the trailer for this movie, and like the trailer looks bad, but it looks like they're going to do the thing that they say they're going to do. Like it looks like they're going to give you, Napoleon, he conquered a bunch of shit. He came from nothing. He conquered everything. Whatever. Like you're going to see the rise and fall of this very controversial person. You're going to learn some shit about this era of French history if you didn't know it already. Like, it's going to be an interesting story. Like, we'll find out what the commentary is on Napoleon the Man later.
Next on Dragon Ball Z.
There's going to be a commentary on Napoleon because we're making a Napoleon movie, and it's got Joaquin Phoenix in it. He's won an Oscar. And Vanessa Kirby's in it, and she was nominated for an Oscar. And we're serious people who make serious films. But, like, this is not a serious film at all. Like, it makes no attempts to be a serious film, which is fine. I just felt like I should have known that before I saw the movie. Like, if you're going to put a bunch of trailers and posters everywhere, at some point you should get across the fact that this movie is not attempting to be serious. Because it's just not. I said this to Royden while he was watching the movie. Napoleon feels like if you sent like a 6th grader to school one day and they had like learned about Napoleon in social studies class, and he got home from school and you were like, so what'd you learn today? And he goes, oh, so there was this queen in France. She got her head chopped off. It was kind of cool. And then there was this other guy, Napoleon, and he tried to like become in charge after that, but he didn't really become in charge yet. But then he got in like a battle, and then he got like married and stuff. But he didn't really like his wife that much, but they were still married. And then like it's like just all this random shit you don't need. And then he's like, oh, there's a big battle with like a bunch of ice and shit. And like dudes fell into the ice. That shit was crazy. And then like he got divorced. Like it's just like the most random, like up and down, like tangents of a story. Like it's just not. There's no like through line. There's no build to anything. It's just Ridley Scott read a book about Napoleon, kind of.
He didn't. That's the whole thing. No, that's the whole thing. He has come out on like this press
tour. He quite literally did not read a book about Napoleon.
He was like, that's for nerds and writers, of which I'm not.
It's like just the most, like, you didn't do anything. You didn't say anything. It's just so random and dumb. And Joaquin Phoenix's performance is odd, but not like an interesting way. Like, he's not trying to do Napoleon at all, like, which no one would even know how to do, I don't think. But it's not like he's really trying to do anything. Like,
well, he's not bombastic. He's not like a major general, like,
like there's nothing
warmonger.
You don't never see Joaquin Phoenix on screen as Napoleon, and you're like, yeah, I understand how this man took over parts of the world. Like, it's just he's just a dude, you know. And like him being a short dude doesn't even feel like a thing in this movie. Like it's he's just a weird guy, like, and that's it. The whole story they try to do with Vanessa Kirby's character just doesn't make any sense. Josephine, like, apparently this is like the love of his life, and at the end of the movie, when he dies, you're supposed to believe like he's like thinking about her and is like very serious about her, but like the parts of their relationship that they actually show you on screen are all just her being like, you suck, you stink, like I don't want to have your child.
Get game weak, can't get me pregnant.
Like, you're trash, and you're not gonna leave me because you're a little bitch. And, like that's literally a scene in this movie where he's like mad at her and she's like, you little bitch. You ain't gonna do shit. He's like, you're right.
Your mother never loved you.
It's like, and it's like, how are you gonna make the end of your movie like it ends on like them being like so in love and like, oh, he died and was thinking about her and blah blah blah. And it's like, you never showed us them in love on screen ever at any point. Like, why? What were you trying to do here? What was the point of making this movie? What was any of this for? This shit sucks. D.
Teach?
All right. Well, first of all, much like Dex, when I first saw this trailer, I knew this film was going to be complete cheeks, and I like Ridley Scott. I mean, he made American Gangster for God's sakes, but I knew this shit was going to be some fucking cheeks because one, I don't mean to be the woke liberal snowflake. I know people are rolling their eyes, but one, we really don't need another story about Napoleon. It's just literally not a necessary thing that we have to do. I'm not going to harp on that. That's not why this movie sucks. This movie
we have never made a movie or so many movies. I guess like Hitler is in a lot of movies, but we've never made so many movies over a dude that murdered or was responsible for the deaths of like 3 million people.
It's extremely nasty. These are two different movies. One part of this movie is bros being
different movies.
It's bros being bros. It's bros fighting war as opposed to going to therapy. And because of who Ridley Scott is and his background, these scenes are fucking awesome. It is really fun to watch these old school wars on the different countrysides. They're really well shot. They are very, very realistic. I very much enjoyed those parts of the movie. But every time you leave a battle, you zoom back in on Napoleon's life, and the whole movie goes to complete shit. Joaquin Phoenix is doing literally like Napoleon is the butt of a joke here. He's doing a performance of Napoleon that makes him look like the most pathetic, the most trivial, the most shallow person that you can imagine, which is probably true. He's clearly got little dick issues, and the way he operates, his sex is bad, his stroke is horrible, his wife is having an affair when he goes to war. Things are just going bad for him. People are treating him in a way that he doesn't like. People are making promises to his face and immediately making pacts with England on the back end. Like, he's being treated like a complete joke. And he is a complete joke, like in the small scenes, which is most of the movie where you're just with him and dealing with the people around him and mostly dealing with his wife. The whole stuff with Vanessa Kirby is so half-baked, it makes no sense. They're trying to be funny at times, but it's not particularly funny. It's just a little weird. It's just like what are we doing here? Why are we spending so much time within Napoleon's marriage? Why is that important to this film? And these two movies are totally divorced from each other. Nothing that happens in his personal life informs how he performs on the field, and nothing that happens on the field of battle really informs the story. It informs where his story goes in terms of his fortunes, because when he loses the battle, obviously he goes into exile, right? So it informs like where the next scene is set, but you don't really learn anything about what motivates Napoleon other than the fact that he wants to win battles. He says that he loves France. There's no actual evidence in this film that he loves France or loves anything other than himself. So you don't really learn anything about what motivates Napoleon. You don't really learn anything about his wife, God forbid. You don't really learn anything about France in this film. All you see is cool battle scenes followed by scenes where Joaquin Phoenix is just acting like a very pathetic beta male who is Napoleon and apparently is the most fearsome man in the world because he conquered half of it. But then you zoom in on him and he's crying in the room like a little bitch because his wife fucked somebody else and he feels bad about it and he has bad sex. Like he's literally a joke. There's a scene where he's basically putting down an insurrection. There's a French Revolution going on. He's putting down an insurrection. And just when he realizes that he has the army, he can just take power. Basically, for a small second, his army's like outside of the building, and he goes in and basically is trying to get everybody in the French government to resign their position so that they can take over the government. And the guys start physically attacking Napoleon. And he's literally screaming like a bitch. He's like, they're attacking me. Oh my God. He's like getting beat up.
Falls down the stairs.
It's played like really like this guy is literally pathetic. Like it's played like that, but then he opens the door and his army's there and the army comes and takes over. So it's like these two movies are so divorced from each other. You can't see from the stuff going on in his life how he becomes how he becomes Phil Jackson. Like it doesn't really make much sense. but it's always cool to see some good war scenes. Those were fun. This movie's a C minus. It has no reason to exist. Ridley Scott is way too talented to make something like this. Vanessa Kirby is way too interesting to be cast as someone in this role, and Joaquin Phoenix is just being a weird beta cuck, but also the strongest man in the world. I don't know. It's a C minus. It's not very good. I don't get it. I literally don't get it.
It doesn't know what movie it wants to be. Ridley Scott is the best at doing these huge set piece battle scenes, especially in these historical epics. There's no one better.
The Last Duel has some of that stuff too. When you're not watching rape, you're seeing some really awesome fight scenes. You're seeing some real action.
Yeah, no one's better at it, and he's been doing it for forever, or at least since I've been alive. It's not quite like a dark comedy. It's not quite like a weird sex comedy. You know what I mean? Like a weird sexual fantasy comedy with the two leads. It's not quite like a black comedy like The Death of Stalin or something like that, where it's just so dry and they don't take into account the rest of what happened with Napoleon. Like, there's a movie in here where it's like, oh, Napoleon rises to power as a comedy, kind of. There's a weird erotic sex thriller in here with him and Vanessa Kirby. They didn't flesh that out at all, other than that's how they chose to do it. Or there's the big historical epic of This Is Napoleon. Pick one. Pick
literally anything.
Pick one.
Do something.
They did all of it. They was like, oh, I want to do all of it. And I guess I probably would have preferred, me personally, do the cradle to the grave. We bemoan that and roll our eyes at it. But I would have, in this case, preferred the cradle to the grave, rise to power, multiple battle scenes, conquests, all of this stuff. But we didn't get that. It was battle scene, 15 years in the future. I can't get my wife pregnant. Go to war, battle scene, come back, exile. It was just
and none of these things are connected. They just happen.
You have a whole kid storyline. The kid is born. You literally never see the kid again. Never. Both kids, you literally never see them again. They become a storyline for the middle part of this movie, and then it all of a sudden is literally not a storyline anymore. And it's like he doesn't even have kids. It's just such a weird movie, man.
I give it a D+. I could not believe that I was so thoroughly bored by a Ridley Scott epic battle movie. Because a lot of it wasn't that. In between the battle scenes, I was thoroughly what is happening?
And why is it happening?
And why? The motivations are unclear. They want to tell you that because of his complex with his wife and his thoughts about himself, they sort of mention that his mother was sort of this ruled with an iron fist woman, this disciplinarian.
They hand wave the shit out of that.
Which is a huge part of Napoleon's story, really. He had a big mom complex, which makes a lot of sense. But it never really fully dives into that, or we're big dumb idiots. It never really fully even explains that's why he's going to war, is because of his inadequacies. But that's what it is, and it's just unclear. Vanessa Kirby, like we were saying, besides telling him that his dick game is weak, has nothing to do.
And they literally like just send her away at some point in the movie.
Yeah, go.
Like,
You know.
goodbye.
We banish you to another palatial estate. Yeah, I just don't care. You know, I hate to be that guy on a movie podcast, reviewing stuff and just be like,
The movie does nothing to make you care. The movie does nothing to make you care about the fates of Napoleon or Vanessa Kirby's character. It literally does nothing to make you care about what happens to them as people. Nothing. You're just watching, and you're just like, why do I care if Napoleon lives or dies? Why do I care what happens to Napoleon and his wife? I'm not, and like obviously a lot of the jokes with Vanessa Kirby and the inner wife stuff are played for comedy, but it's not a particularly funny movie. Like it's not like you're gonna like have a lot of laughs, but you're going to realize there are a lot of scenes that are supposed to be funny.
Yeah, you're watching and you're like, oh, that's a joke. Like,
yeah, that's a joke, but like it's.
I think my theater didn't get that they were playing through some of the stuff for laughs either. Like I knew because I had read going in that there some parts that are played for laughs and that it's supposed to be funny, and like so I was kind of actually on the lookout for jokes, but like the first time that the first time they consummate their marriage or whatever is like where he's just railing this poor woman is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But I don't think people thought it was funny. They were kind of like, oh.
It just looks weird. Like
yeah.
Like the way it's framed, like it just looks weird. Like when he did the same thing with like Adam Driver and Lady Gaga, but that was like just so over the top ridiculous. Like them just like throwing each other around like that little fucking whatever the fuck
Gaga screaming
mobile office thing they were in, like just obviously over the top and funny. And like you said that this movie was supposed to be camp. House of Gucci is actually camp, where it's like everything is ridiculous, and that's like the cool and fun and funny part.
And House of Gucci is hilarious.
This movie is just everything is just weird. It's like not weird enough to be camp, but too weird to be funny. Like
right. So do we think that like because we all liked The Last Duel and we got the tone of it and what they were doing filmmaking wise, and I think that comes with a decent script from good screenwriters Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, known quantities, you know what I mean? But are we concerned at all that maybe Ridley Scott has like lost sight of his tone or where
because Gladiator 2 is going to be real cinema, and if it is not, we're going to act like it was never released because Gladiator 1 still exists.
He cannot fumble how many awesome people he has in that cast. That's all.
I mean, he's fumbled ensemble cast before. He has.
Hey,
but
you think he fumbled House of Gucci? Which has like,
I think it depends. Yeah, I think it depends on where you stand on House of Gucci. If you did not like House of Gucci, you're probably thinking, "Oh, what's going on here? This is 3 in a row."
I'm concerned. It is me doing a big concern.
I am not concerned at all. Gladiator 2 is going to make $1 bajillion. They could make Dex the director of Gladiator 2. That doesn't mean it'll be good, but it will make $1 bajillion. Gladiator is one of the few movies that people generally consider perfect. Like it's a perfect film. And it has about 99% less rape than The Last Duel, which is a good ratio of rape that you should put on screen.
Fair enough, but I don't know. This could either
I don't know, there's some weird stuff with Joaquin Phoenix and his sister in that movie.
This could either be like a Top Gun Maverick moment where it's like everyone is so fucking back, like we're going, like Gladiator 2 rules and we're all in, or it can be like some of the other legacy sequels where we were like, did we really need to do this? I don't know if we did.
That's a good point.
I'll lean more back than not, but yikes, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I'm not with it. I'm not feeling it, you know? And Ridley Scott is 85 and he's saying weird things on the internet. Like, what a lord, just going over people and just being like, you fucking nerds care about reviews. Never cared about a review in my life. Like, you care about history and facts, losers.
Also,
And you're just like, oh god.
That the guy who was like, "Oh, people don't want to learn anything if they can't learn it on TikTok," was just like, "I don't need to learn about Napoleon. Like, I'm just making the movie anyway."
Wait, why would you ask me that? Why do I need to learn about Napoleon? What are you talking about?
Since when have I needed to care
I'm a
about
director.
this?
I don't need to fucking learn. What are you fucking nerd?
I'm gonna just make this movie, bitch. What do you mean?
There are a ton
asking
of,
me questions.
I am not the person who feels like you have to be a stickler about historical accuracy when you're making a film.
Not even a little bit.
I want you to make the best film possible. But this film is uninteresting and not good. So then it begs the question of why you decided to be historically inaccurate and make a film that was overall cheeks. That you cannot do both of those.
Well,
you
I don't
can't,
think
especially
you
a story
went
this
into it.
big.
I don't think you went into it being like, I'm gonna make an ass film, and you're just like,
that shit stinks, bro.
If you're gonna be lying to us, at least get off like cool lies. Like The Social Network is full of lies. That shit rules. Like,
yeah, give Napoleon a machine gun. They will understand why he was him.
Yeah.
Oh shit, this guy's got a machine gun. He's basically God out there.
Napoleon
I would
is
understand.
from the future, and like, these other dudes are living in 1797. He's in 2097. Like,
have y'all ever seen Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yes.
Somebody
There's no way Dex has seen that.
Somebody tweeted Tej like, hated Napoleon. Not once did they show his conquering of San Dimas and the mall and the water park. Very niche reference to people that get that 1989 movie, but yeah, it's a great joke. I don't have anything really. I was bored, man. I don't know why. I was just like, went in with such high expectations, was bored. And that's the worst sin of them all. How was I bored?
How can you make a movie this long telling this complex of a story and it be boring?
And it'd be boring.
Like,
yeah.
That's insane. Like,
now, I don't know. I did find myself with the battle scene in Russia when they're falling through the ice and doing this stuff. Like,
that was fucking awesome. That was fucking awesome.
The Waterloo scene where they're all like, they go on a cavalry charge and then all the infantry like group together in like a phalanx basically and stave off the cavalry. Like, I thought that was a really interesting way of doing this. The battle scenes, Ridley, even at 82 years old, still got it, man. Like, we've been saying that. Just the rest of the character study stuff, I don't think he has.
He didn't study the character.
Yeah, how can you make a character study this character you didn't study?
Well, there's a thing. 2 days before they started filming the movie, Joaquin Phoenix came to him and said, "I don't know what to do." And so they had to like sit down and like, from the start of this movie, from the start of this, like read it from front to back and go over what the character was. And somehow the character that they came up with was like an anti-performance where he's just going to be really subtle. And he never really has these like bombastic moments like you would expect from these movies. And I'm saying you have to do that, but it just mixed in with the rest of the sauce, like in this gumbo that is this movie. It was boring and it is nothing. So
it doesn't make sense why an army would follow this man through. There's a point in this movie where he basically goes against the advice of counsel and says, we're going to keep marching forward into Russia through the Russian winter, which basically causes the downfall of the French Empire. It basically literally causes France to start to lose these places they had colonized because he made this decision. But the person you're seeing when he's not fighting the war does not justify why these soldiers, a lot of them deserted, but why would any of them have stayed with him if he's making a decision like that? Because the goofball that we've been seeing with his wife and dealing with the French parliament and dealing with the French bourgeoisie, is like nobody would ever follow that guy. He's fucking literally pathetic. He has no real friends. He's a bum. But then we get on the battlefield and all of a sudden he's like, he makes one tactical decision. Hey, move the cannons over there. And all of a sudden he is him. He's Phil Jackson. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. These two movies don't live in the same universe together. They make no sense together.
He gets exiled, and then he comes back, and he's like, I'm back. And they're like, oh, shit, it's Napoleon. Yo.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was so confused by that. I was like,
He pulled a T'Challa. He was like, I'm here. Everybody's like, yes, fuck yeah, dude.
you can't just give him a moment like that, because me as the viewer, I'm like, wait, why are they excited that he's back? Why are they embracing him? He's like, are you for me or are you for someone else? They're like, yeah, we're with you. And I'm like, okay, but why are they with him? I didn't think they were going to decide to be with him.
I heard his big game was whack.
I was so confused at that moment. I was like, oh, he's getting a hero's welcome, and now he's going to ride back into town, back into the place he was exiled from, and the army's like, yeah, we love him again. It's like,
why,
what?
dog? Like,
why?
He's done nothing for you. Like, y'all are just freezing your asses off and dying. Like, also, like, there are so many things in this movie where I was like, so why did that happen? Like, when they go back, when they get to Russia and the Russians like burn the city down, he just stands there and he's like, damn, that's crazy. All right, moving on. Like, what? Like, why
didn't think they had it in him. That's crazy.
Damn, they're some wild boys. All right. Like, and we never even really, like, it doesn't even feel like we finished the story with Russia at all. It's just like, all right, well
no, because that's kind of how it went. He just fucked around in the Russian winter and had to be like, ah, shit.
And he's just like, okay, cool. Like, I'll just go back home. And they're like, well, you can't come back home. We're sending you to a different island now. Bye. Like, and then the movie just ends.
Imagine that still happened. Like, after we didn't find weapons of mass destruction in like Iran or Iraq, I can't remember which one, but like Iran. And like, what if we just sent Bush into exile? Why didn't we like?
That's fire. Sorry,
like
you can't leave Alaska. You literally, when we watch, you cannot leave Alaska. You are
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
like you know, after the 18th drone strikes didn't work with Obama, we're just like, all right. You know,
we've had enough of you.
You gotta go to Puerto Rico. And you're just like, what?
Get on the boat.
Yeah. We just don't do that anymore. We used to be a proper world. You know what I mean?
Bring back exile.
Bring back exile.
Honestly, can you imagine if we were like the House voted today, George Santos, you're getting on the boat, buddy. We'll never see you again.
Sending you to Equatorial Guinea. They're like, what?
We found a nice little island for you. Go build a life for yourself. Get out of here, kid.
I wish I had more to say about this movie, but I literally, like, there's not a lot to. It's a nothing burger. I would not recommend anyone spend their time watching it, even if you like Joaquin Phoenix, even if you like Ridley Scott. I happen to like both of them, but this did nothing for me. I like Vanessa Kirby as much as the next guy. No, this just wasn't it.
I want a movie about all the other characters who died in this movie. Like, obviously there are Marie Antoinette movies, but like that opening scene was just so fire. That should be the end of a good movie, I feel like. And the Robespierre scene, that should also be the end of a very good movie instead of being like random throwaways in this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just so much little shit in here that I'm like, why didn't we like fluff that out a little bit more? Why didn't we make that mean something?
Because they weren't Napoleon.
I mean, that too, but also like none of the Napoleon shit means anything either. Like,
I don't know. I just hate that Ridley Scott does this where it's like, well, you got to watch my definitive cut of the movie to really get what I was trying to do. I'm like, I don't know.
I would not be doing that.
Yeah.
Make a good movie to begin with.
He tried to pull Kanye and said, we fixed wolves. Go back, guys. Give me another chance.
I'm going to drop the DLC. The Napoleon DLC is coming.
Napoleon DLC.
Like, I don't, it's very hard to.
Cyberpunk 2077 ass movie.
Oh, we patched it. We swear to God.
Not that I think Napoleon is interesting in any way, shape, or form, but it is difficult to make a movie about something like this and make it uninteresting. That's difficult because this is stuff that people like. People like watching war movies. People like watching rise and fall stories. people love a biopic, and this actually falls short on every account. But the war scenes are cool. Like, I had a good time watching those scenes. I felt like I was in that moment, and then you zoom back into his life, and it's like, I don't care. I do not care what's happening with Napoleon's marriage. I never once cared, and the movie never made me care. Not even one time.
They don't even like each other, like at any point in the movie.
But they're supposed to be these star-crossed lovers that like don't are misunderstood.
You never feel that. You never feel that
at a party, and then her homegirl is like, "So you trying to get with Napoleon or what?" And she's like, "Nah, I'm good.
I'm chilling."
And her homegirl is like, "Well, I heard he's gonna be rich one day," and she's like, "Oh, okay, well, maybe."
It'd be like that sometimes.
Vanessa Kirby did say, "I want to show you something, and once you see it, you always want it." I thought that was bars. I thought that was bars for the late 1500s. That's how bad bitches were talking at the time. I thought that was bars. I respect that.
But yeah, this movie sucks.
Do y'all have women that do that to you in your everyday life?
Show me something that I always wanted. I'm not
going to imagine if a woman did that to you today. You'd be like, "Please go home."
I'm like, you're really hyping it up. Like let's just do the reveal. Don't hype it up. Well, I might not like it as much as you think. Let me make that decision.
How many guys have you used this line on? How many people? How many people?
Get out of my apartment, lady. Please, thanks.
Every regular in this bar know that you do this every night. Like, it's a running joke amongst the patrons.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's do what we're watching. Dex, real quick. Give your. We may review it on. I don't know if I'll see it, but give your Beyonce thoughts. I'll be right back.
The Beyonce Renaissance movie fucking rules. It is so good. If you've seen Homecoming, which hopefully you all have because it's on Netflix and you have no excuse not to, the parts where she like cuts into the show with like these little vignettes about like behind the scenes, all the work that she's putting in the process, and like the dancers and the stage setup and the crew and the costuming and all that other stuff. There's a lot more of that in Renaissance than there is in Homecoming. She like doubles down on it, but it's worth it because I felt like I genuinely learned a lot of things about Beyonce like in the course of this movie. And it really makes you realize that what she's doing, like it seems like, oh, it's Beyonce. Everything she does is super easy for her. Like she's always in her pocket. Like it's all effortless. No, it is not. Like she is doing ridiculous work to put on all these shows, and like I just came away even more impressed with Beyonce than I already was, which seems impossible. So yeah, definitely worth the watch. And also, like the music just slaps. Like it's Beyonce. It's Renaissance. Like the arrangements, the dancing, the vocals, like it's all there. Like what is not to like? This is a great fucking time. It's long. It's like damn near 3 hours. I got out of the theater at 1:30 in the morning last night.
God damn.
Yes. Turn that shit up.
But it's all worth it, and I will probably go see it again when I can watch it for free on A-List, hopefully. I don't want to pay money for it again. But
now the main complaint that I heard about the Taylor Swift documentary is that it was just a concert film and it wasn't more like revealing. I guess she did Miss Americana, which we kind of hated. Actually, on this podcast,
yeah, Miss Americana also didn't reveal anything. I'm starting to feel like there's just nothing to reveal. Like Taylor Swift is just normal.
There was just like no behind the scenes of how they put the concert on or whatever. Was this have more of that or
way more of that? Yeah,
I see. That's the stuff that interests me. Like, how does she change outfits? You know what I mean? Like
just an insane production that they like show you a lot of like how it comes together. And it's also like it's not just a recording of one night of the concert like the Taylor Swift one was. Like it's like they're cutting through different nights of it like the entire time basically. So it definitely feels more of like a documentary of like how this tour came together, while also seeing like the actual performance than it does like, hey, I did the Eras Tour this one night. Here it is. Like, which there's not as much like singing and dancing in the audience because like there's these like long stretches of Beyonce talking to you about how hard it is being everyone's favorite.
Must be tough.
And
being a
then they go
billionaire.
back to the music. Yeah, it must be tough being a billionaire. And then, Taylor Swift, it's just the music. So everyone's just up singing and dancing the whole time like they're at a concert. But this one.
I cannot wait to see this film. I cannot wait to see this film.
And we got new music in the credits. I walked out of the theater like, God, I hope this is on Apple Music. And I checked it was. And I was like, we fucking move. Thank you.
I refuse to listen to the new song because I want to hear it in the fucking theater as intended. So literally I have to avoid the new Beyonce song for another 4 days.
I got to tell you, hearing the Formation beat drop in Dolby Audio, fucking just highlight of my year, honestly. The most fun I have had in a movie theater listening to Formation, and just the fucking Dolby sound system is just vibrating my seat. A+.
Did you see? You saw a few more movies than us because of your A-list subscription.
Yeah, I saw The Holdovers. It was good. It's not what I go to Christmas movies for. I'm trying to feel the warm fuzzies, when I watch Christmas movies.
More depressing fuzzies.
Yeah, The Holdovers is not warm and fuzzy in the slightest, but it's still a good movie. I saw The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds and Snakes, which I really enjoyed. I hope they make more of those movies. I would watch a prequel trilogy of that. I thought it was awesome. And
surprise hits, or not surprise, but I was like a Hunger Games.
Better not say surprise hit. This is one of the biggest movie franchises ever. Of course,
nobody. I don't know anybody that read that book, even though it's a New York Times bestseller. But
I know 100 people that read those books. Those books are.
I didn't know the book existed until the movie trailer dropped. To be honest,
it was quite literally she released it right before the pandemic or whatever, and then within 2 weeks they're like, we're making a movie. And I was like, oh, okay. So
and they're like, yeah, Viola Davis is in it. I was like, cool, I'm in.
Yeah.
And I also watched Sanctuary on Hulu. It batshit insane movie.
What is that?
And it's Margaret Qualley, however you say that. The chick from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's in it, and she plays a dominatrix kind of.
Oh, this is from last year.
Early this year, I think, but it's on Hulu now, so I finally got around to watching it, and it's good. It's literally two people in a hotel room, but the performances are so good, and it's one of the sexiest movies I've ever seen. It's crazy. You should watch it.
Okay. 2022, yeah, Margaret Qualley. I think this came out when people were still trying to figure out how we do COVID stuff. Let's put 2 people in a room. Yeah, Tej, do you have anything that you've been watching?
I've been watching Fargo. Real Cinema is back. Fargo season 5. I watched that Love Has One documentary that Max put out. That shit was batshit fucking crazy. I love me a cult doc. It did not disappoint. It's 3 episodes. It's fucking insane.
Oh, a cult documentary?
I'm watching Blue Eye Samurai, one of the best reviewed pieces of content this year. It's an anime on Netflix. I just watched the first episode, and I'm not a huge anime fan. I have watched anime before, but I wouldn't say that I would not call myself an anime fan.
We are admittedly a anime blind spot podcast.
Yeah, I'm not a huge anime person, but I really enjoyed episode 1 of Blue Eyed Samurai. Really, really, really enjoyed it. So that's going pretty well. And what else am I watching? I think that's it. I'm watching Rap Shit as well. Rap Shit is back. Rap Shit season 2 is back. I'm watching Rap Shit. Those are the things I'm watching. Have I watched any films? No, I need to go see Thanksgiving and Saltburn and Beyonce. So all those are on my list.
Saltburn, we may not review that, but the reviews that I've listened to and read about that, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, it sounds.
Marcus liked it. He thought it was good. I've heard good things about it, but everybody's like, this is some real sicko content, but it's really good. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
Apparently, that and the new Godzilla -1 movie are really getting people's attention. But Godzilla -1 might be like real cinema.
I can't believe they made a real cinema Godzilla movie, but I am down to pull up to the theater and watch. I am in.
Also, Silent Night. John Woo is back. So
that's right. I need to see that as well. There's a lot of stuff. We've never been more back, guys. We're back at the movies. We've never been more back.
I watched on Apple called Flora and Son. Is from
kids movie?
No, it's very much not. It's from the director who directed Sing Street and Once, Dex, the movie that we tried to watch when we were drunk, and
which I did until you end up watching it. It's very good.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. But he directed that, and it's another like musical sort of music's intertwined in the story movie, but it's just a really good crass comedy, rated R comedy with some singing in it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is probably the name that you would know from it. Also, the guy from Midsommar is in there.
Okay.
Let's see. I'll the boyfriend from Midsommar.
I don't remember the actor's name, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Jack Rayner.
Jack Rayner, yeah. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Eve Hewson, who has been she was in Bridge of Spies, Robert, just a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, she's a mom who had to have been a teen mom who has like a 16-year-old son who she's trying to connect with, and she tries to connect with him through music. And very, very rated R movie, but it is really fucking good. I thought it was one of the better things that Apple has put out. They're kind of on a pretty good hot streak, honestly, for me. They put out solid ass content. Something that I have to talk about on this podcast because I have no other forum to do it besides Twitter. Yellowstone. We'll talk about Yellowstone real quick. Yellowstone is the most popular fucking thing on the planet, by the way. You can't walk into any sort of boutique without seeing I Heart Rip shirts or whatever. And
walk into your local Academy Sports and Outdoors and see some Yellowstone merch.
Bet your ass, man. A dude, Taylor Sheridan, a man who has made his bones and was nominated for an Academy Award about the writing about the perils of capitalism and how banks are bad and the government is overstepping and stealing your money. Sure loves to sell that shit. And, brother, it's the most popular shit on the planet. Every Republican that loves that show. Every white family is watching it on the Paramount Network before it even hits streaming. And they own the DVDs of it to watch it. I have been watching it. For some reason, it's not on Paramount Plus. It's on Peacock, which is the first time I've ever really scrolled that service. It's fine, actually, for $2 a month. And man, I am thoroughly entertained. I'll say
they got you. They got you.
Thoroughly entertained. It is a deeply unserious show. Unserious content. It's
Taylor
silly.
Sheridan is him. He knows what people want.
Exactly. But he transitioned from being am I going to be the next sort of I don't even know who a writer of these westerns would be, but the next John Ford, which is maybe too much, ascribing too much to him. But those three movies, Sicario, Wind River, Hell or High Water, are incredible cinema.
Yeah, but very serious cinema, not unserious cinema.
Very serious cinema. And this thing wants to take itself seriously. It just is unserious. It's you watch it for 2 seconds, you're it's just soap opera. It's Buffalo soap opera. We're just in the West, and people are like dying and saying "fuck you," and Kevin Costner's like, "This is my land, and I've always wanted this land," and they're just like, "Dude, you're from California," you know what I mean? And I don't know. It just is. They just abandon storylines and write people off, and they kill people without consequence. And I'm 4 seasons in. I just can't describe it any better than that. Anyway, I've watched that and all the prequels. So that's what I've been Yellowstone pilled.
You're gonna like that once you get around to finish all the Yellowstone properties, you're going to like that one with
Lioness. I'm gonna eat that shit up. Like,
it's so soap opera-ish, but it's so fun at the same time. I've never seen Yellowstone or any of the prequels, but I can already tell exactly what you mean just by the way that he writes. It is completely unserious, but it is fucking entertaining.
Is that the Zoe Saldana one?
Yes. And it's way better than it has any business
being. Freeman and
it's so much fun, bro. It is a fun ride. You will, once it ends, you'll be like, oh, I liked watching that. Like, it's not going to be the best thing you've ever watched, but it's going to be way more compelling than it has any reason to be.
I'll tell you this much, guys. I might buy a cowboy hat.
Oh shit!
You
are the target demo.
Look. There's something there. There's some weird Republican just buried deep in the bottom of my soul, like, and all that will manifest itself is that I just need to buy a cowboy hat. Like, I'm not gonna get on any. I'm not gonna start watching Fox News or anything, but I think I need a cowboy hat.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel you on that. And like, working for Academy now, it's like I am like just so inundated with like hunting content. I'm like, I could be a hunting guy. Like,
no, like some of this, it's all comfortable wear. It's all comfortable shit, and you get to wear clothes that are like too big for you to like hide like how fat I am now. And it's just like,
yeah, I could do this. I can live this life.
Exactly.
I can't believe you're about to get a cowboy hat. You literally are the target demo. It is working exactly as expected. It's working exactly how Taylor Sheridan designed it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
At a certain point, you either become skater dad or cowboy hat dad. And I think I'm going toward, but against my better judgment, I think I'm going towards cowboy hat, Western wear dad. Like, I've been in Texas too long. You know what I mean?
It's happening.
I need a pair of boots.
But Yellowstone resets you to factory defaults, dog.
We'll start shooting guns on the regular. I will say, but it's like, Tej, I'm not kidding. Like, you would look good in a cowboy hat. Like, everyone in that show wears one, and they all
looks phenomenal.
Great, and they look great. Like, even the ugly people wear like the ugly people in the show. They purposely put a couple of uggos in there, and they're just like, yeah, the cowboy hat works. We're like, all right. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like,
I need a pair of Tacovas and I need a cowboy hat.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the first Tacovas commercial I've ever seen in my entire life the other day. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, I've been Yellowstone pilled. Not red pilled, not blue pilled. Yellowstone.
Yellow pilled.
Yellow pilled.
Love that.
Anyway, anything else? And dude, it's so popular. It's unbelievable.
I know it is because my mom's siblings, like their entire like sibling group chat, it talks about Yellowstone every week. Like, it's crazy.
That's insane. It really, all it is like him just going, Kevin Costner, I have to protect this ranch, and getting paid like $900,000 an episode.
Crazy. I'll probably get around to it eventually, but like,
no, you won't. It's a television show. There's about 90 billion episodes. You're not getting around to it. Just don't lie to our listeners. You're not getting.
I'm just saying, it's the first like prestige TV that I haven't paid attention to at all, and like completely gotten where we are. I've like been on my phone, second screening the entire time.
It's only prestige because people like it, but it's not prestige. That Taylor Sheridan's TV shows are unserious, brother.
Yeah,
they are perfect. They are perfect.
I don't think it's been nominated for like one Emmy. That's insane. It's like the most popular shit on TV. Anyway, anything else?
Nope, nothing for me.
No. All right. So that has been what we're watching. That has been a One Take Podcast. One Take Podcast episode. What? I didn't even say what episode we were on. 160. Shit. Help me out. Fading.
163.
Here we go. 162.
Damn.
We were right there. You want to talk about your Spotify Wrapped?
We know Drake is number one on Dex's Spotify Wrapped. We know that.
Of course, every year.
Dex, you were saying, like, I don't think anybody has listened to 50, you know, I've listened to 50-something thousand minutes of music, but I was looking at our thing, and, like, Caitlin and I guess combined, had listened to, like, 36 or 30,000 minutes of music, but I've also listened to I think it's just me, has listened to 36,000 minutes of podcasts, so I'm, like, right there with you.
Damn.
Like, I just don't use it to listen to music anymore.
I can't listen to podcasts while I work because, like, I can't, like, follow a conversation, like, and, like, I'm actively trying to avoid conversation while I'm working. But literally, if I'm not in a meeting at work, I am listening to music. Like, it's just I can't sit there in silence.
I'm the only one with headphones in at my office, and I kind of feel like a fucking weirdo, but also, like,
I don't understand how people do that. How do you just sit there just working in silence all day? Like,
yeah, I need the content. Like, give me the content drip.
You're just sitting there, just listening to office chit chat all day. Like, there's no
office chit chat.
Like, we have police scanners in our office because it's the news or whatever. But that's fucking annoying, man.
I gotta drown all that shit out when I'm actually trying to lock in at work. So I have.
Well, I also can't let the voices get too loud. You know what I mean? Anyway, it was a One Take Podcast. Caitlin, my wife, was putting in work. Taylor Swift is our number one musical artist this year. Zach Bryan making a late push. No, exactly. Zach Bryan making a late push. Couldn't get in there. Tej, what was yours?
I share my Spotify account with my, like, family, and they be listening to mad gospel and shit, so it's always skewed. So I didn't even click it this year. I literally didn't even click it. But if I had to guess, it's probably, you know what I noticed? I didn't tweet this because I didn't want people to be mad at me. I noticed that every year this happens, half the timeline is like, wow, I can't believe I listened to that much Drake, and Drake is their number one artist that they listen to. And it happens so often every year. They're like, wow, I had no idea. And it's like, you probably listened to that much Drake last year.
Yeah, it happens every fucking year. People are like,
it literally does.
Like Drake that much. It's like, he's in like 75% of the people on my timeline's top 5. Like, it's crazy. And I get that, like, he puts out a lot of music, he puts out a lot of features, like, he's everywhere. But it's like, yo, like, y'all listening to this shit. Don't lie to me.
My Spotify rap, though, was, like, shockingly Caucasian.
You about to get a cowboy hat? You're watching Yellowstone? It's literally being restored to your default settings.
Taylor Swift, Noah Khan, the band Camino, Blink-182, Zach Bryan. Jesus Christ, that is white.
That's white as shit.
Zach Bryan made my top 10 this year, which is kind of amazing considering I had never listened to any of his songs before this year. So,
man, you were jamming that album.
Yeah, loved it.
All right, One Take Podcast, Spotify. Thank you so much for those. Our Spotify listenership actually did grow this year by like 60% or something. So we appreciate those of you that listen. Follow us, rate us, subscribe to us. That'd be great. And subscribe. You can subscribe on YouTube, One Take Podcast on YouTube, and you can follow us also on Apple, which I think most of our listenership comes from. But follow us, get our follower count up on Spotify, promote us. We really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
It sometimes feels like we're talking into the void about these movies, but it is really cool when people tweet at us and be like, y'all are putting out good shit. So I really appreciate that. We're not as popular as Teach's other projects because they just be screaming at each other about college football. Yeah.
Stop the steal. Do not let them leave Texas out of the playoffs. This is
brother.
Not
y'all are going to be in the Sugar Bowl, and you're going to fucking like it.
This is an American issue. I appeal to your. If you like sovereignty and freedom, and you trust these institutions that we claim to put our faith in, you will fight for Texas to be in the playoff after the event of this coming weekend. Please, please. Please, for the love of God.
Now you know how Baylor felt for fucking 3 years in that shit. Welcome to the couch, brother. God damn.
Please let Texas in the playoff. We will do our part. We will dispatch of Mike Gundy and those group of bums in Stillwater. Just please put us in the playoff. Thank you so much.
Killing Longhorns and shit. Jesus.
Fucking weirdo Oklahoma State fans. You guys get a fucking life. Hey, get a life. We're gonna win. We're gonna beat you guys by 45, and you're out there killing animals. And for what? For what reason, guys? Please, have some class.
To own the libs down in Austin. Anyway, thank you so much again for following us and interacting with us. We will put out more content. Oscar season is upon us. Oscar bait season is upon us. We love some good Oscar bait here on this podcast. But mostly, Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh. She's going to be top on my Spotify Wrapped in 2024. For sure.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
She's got music coming up.
She makes music now.
What? Our girl makes music?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I don't think she's made anything yet, but apparently she wants to.
It's coming.
So.
Please don't put it out. Please don't put it out. I don't want to have to come hate on Florence Pugh's music. I don't want to have to do that.
I simply will not. I will lie.
I simply refuse.
I will lie. That's exactly what'll happen.
That cigarette voice is gonna hit you like a ton of bricks, brother.
I will either lie or I will ignore it, like I ignored a good person.
That got promoted to me, by the way, on my Google TV. It was just like, please watch. And I was like, oh fuck. All right,
no,
maybe not. All right, we're out.